welcome with me, especially the people that are joining us online, people that are joining us in different countries of this world, different continents. The people in studio, please, I would wish you to just clap and join them with a round of applause. Welcome them. Welcome them, welcome them. We love it that you are our family. We love it that you love growth, and we love it that you have taken this journey of mentorship, this journey as a quantum leap to be able to become everything that God wants you to become. I don't want to leave anything outside, like everything he envisioned when he said that I am wonderfully and powerfully made. That the people that know their God shall do exploits. Like, I do not want to be there. While others are doing exploits, me, I'm doing hovyo things. Small things. You know? Do you know what exploits are? Exploits. Do you know what exploits are? Where is our English? Where is our English? Do you know what exploits are? Exploits are like, we all want breakthroughs. That is another word that we are bringing in. Breakthroughs, okay? But you realize that, for example, people can, have you ever done popcorn? Or do you boil popcorn or you cook popcorn? What did you do? You pop popcorn or you do what? You do what? You pop it. Okay, so have you ever popped popcorn and popcorn refused to pop? Eh? Have you ever? And then you're like, maybe I put it in too early in the oil before the oil was, or sometimes you put in too late in the oil and it just burns. Because you have to measure, you know, where you put it in. And then you don't have to just put it there and then just cover. Sometimes you have to, you know, shake a bit. Now, when it comes to exploits, there are people that do things that don't materialize to that much. Whether it's business, it will be a mediocre business. Whether it's a marriage, yes, it can be a mediocre marriage. Whether it's a job, like for them, they are never excelling in anything. They are always following in the crowd and getting lost somewhere, you know? And we are not here. The reason as to why we are here is because we are looking for something and we're not looking for mediocrity. So the exploits is when someone says, either the former Katolu woman, people who used to do those adverts, Chigenda tokota sichisani kire, as in the word it tokotas. Kutokota, for the people that don't know, in Luganda, is boiling. Something that boils over. That means there is a level of energy. Exploits, it explodes. That when it comes to your brand, you get to a place and you explode. And people are like, who is this person? Where is she from? Where has she been? Why is it that we are hearing these words for the first time? Someone sees your business and is like, where has this business been? You get it? Because everyone, you remember Coach Adele said that, you know, just give me 2 years, I'll be a household name. That means that what she's looking for is not to get lost in the coaches that, you know, are coaches, because they are coaches and there's a coach. Yeah, I will tell you these things. Because let me tell you, if I don't tell you, maybe no one, chances are no one is going to tell you. Okay? And we are not getting equipped and going through the mentorship so that we will look like everyone else, so that we will sound like everyone else, so that we will impact the world like everyone else. You have a special ingredient that God put inside of you. That is what we are seeking to develop, and that is what we want to explode so the world will see. When still the same Bible says that the islands are waiting for the manifestation. You think they're waiting for manifestation of mediocre people? Does anyone anticipate mediocrity? But you realize every time you're anticipating, whether you're going to a speaking engagement, you're like, oh my God, so-and-so is there. I want to hear what they have to say. Chances are they will even say the same things that you have been hearing. But what? There is greatness in their lives. There's something that sets them apart. They carry a presence that is not normal. That is not normal. Have we broken down exploits? Yes. Have you understood exploits? Yes. Yes. Exploits are for exploding. Exploits, those, you know, you don't just happen in silence. You don't walk in a place and just hush, 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 hush. No, you walk in a place and Every head is turning. What is happening? Who is here? You post your video on YouTube and everyone is like, what is she talking about? Can we? And other people are speaking the same things, but there is something special about what you're talking about. You are for exploits. Hey. Okay, let's go to what we are going to talk about, because that is part of what we are talking about today. And let me tell you, I got confirmation in so many ways. Today, I didn't plan on seeing people or meeting people right before this meeting. But guess what? While I prepared, what I felt on my heart, do you know that sometimes as speakers, we fight with what we feel on our hearts? Have you ever struggled with that? Like you feel it on your heart, but you're like, but why? Why? I don't want to speak about this. We also have things we want to speak about. Things that you think will chija kwata yo. And then, like it was so tough on me. I was like, I have something else I want to talk about. But my mind keeps reminding me of something that I have to talk about. And so I was like, you know what? God, now I'm testing you. If the people I'm going to meet, 10 minutes, 20 minutes to the session, are going to confirm what I'm going to talk about, then I'm going to talk about. And indeed, the people that I met 20 minutes to this session came to me saying the same thing, and they didn't know that they both were saying the same thing. And I wrote it down, and in my heart, you know how God, sometimes God gets the last laugh, eh? Then he's like, I told you. I told you that's what you should talk about. And so I am here in obedience, like complete obedience. Eh? Just know, these words are not mine. In complete obedience. And part of what I want us to start with, the passage that I really felt strong on my heart, because this is what I am going to share, is a journey that I have also gone through, things that I have seen happen, and guess what? The journey I am still moving, and the journey that I will move forever. So if I am mentoring you, I am not just giving you any external knowledge, I am giving you what has worked for me, what has made me do exploits, what has made me impact lives, transform lives, what has made me get to a place where I earn the kind of money that I earn, where I have the kind of peace that I have, because that peace is it's in Matthew 17:20. And because it's going to paint the picture for us and give us a background for what we are going to talk about, okay? And I will just very quickly read it, because it says that, you unbelieving and perverse generation, Jesus replied, how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy here to me. And then 18, Jesus rebuked the demon, and it came out of the boy, and he was healed and in that moment. 19, when the disciples came to Jesus in private and asked, but couldn't we drive it out? Number 20, he replied, because you have little faith. Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there. Not just move, but you can tell the mountain, move from here, and then go there. Okay? And then it says, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. But, that was a side note. But this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting. Now, there are so many seasons in my life where I was super frustrated, super angry, very upset with God. You know, where you want a journey to head somewhere, and some of us want to start a journey and all of a sudden arrive. We want to do something, and all of a sudden we want it to materialize very quickly. And it's in our nature as humans, we love immediate gratification. If you promised me food, bring it now. Because I will start to salivate before the food comes. You know, if you promise me, as in, we are the kinds who do not want to wait for anything. We want things to happen. That is why these days fast food sells so quickly. We don't want the whole process. They tell you, now you put matoke in banana leaves, and then you start cooking in the morning, and then you're eating it at night. Like, what is that? Like, no, I will just put my matoke fingers in water, and then after that, smash it, and then after that, pile it very well, and then I'll be like, you know what, I'm eating matoke, but you and I know the difference between the matoke in the banana leaves that have taken quite long and the matoke that you have smashed using your ladle or your spoon. We know the difference. It just doesn't taste the same. The taste hits different when it has taken long, when it has gone through, and even the food that has been put. Some of you are, I know that some of you are in diaspora, so you cannot understand some of these things. But even when you eat a pumpkin that has been put, you know, what do they call it? On top. That has been steamed, not with our usual steamers, guys. These days we have steamers, the saucepans, where you pour in water, you sit another steaming saucepan, you put in. Still, the taste hits different when it is on top of matoke that is in a banana leaves. Here it sounds tasteless, but here it sounds like it has an aroma, you know? You feel like it's homely, it is inviting, it is even satisfying. This one is not satisfying. It feels like you just poured it in water and all that. Now, I used to be so frustrated in my life until I came to the realization that I am getting frustrated and worked up for no good reason. Because when God promises certain things, because where does frustration come? It comes because of unmet expectations, right? Now, unmet expectations, some of us, we create our own expectations and we pin them on God. It's like people who create their own expectations and pin them on their husbands and their boyfriends and their girlfriends. And they don't communicate those expectations, but they expect you must be able to fulfill it. And all of a sudden it dawns on you, someone is not fulfilling it, and then you are calling them names, you're labeling them. That's exactly what we call, I think God works for other people, but it does not work for me. I think I think this thing is just taking too long. I think this thing is just, but guess what? I discovered one thing that changed my whole life. My whole life. That there are certain things that I expected God to do that he did not promise to do. Because he gave the promises and he gave the principles. For example, when he promises peace that surpasses human understanding, he does not say, the moment when you want peace, you will get peace. It has a principle attached to it. That whatever is good, whatever is noble, whatever is praiseworthy, think on. That's how the peace comes. Neda, just go and think about anything. You know how your mind can be taken over with frustration? You're thinking about your auntie who said this, and then at work someone looked at you a certain way, and before you know it, your heart is pumping. Before you know it, you're losing appetite. Before you know it, you can't sleep. Because of a text message someone sent. Because of a word a conductor told you. Now you see why. Because it is in your mind. But when he says that if it's praiseworthy, that means so many thoughts can come into your mind, but you can choose and say, I'm not going to dwell on this one. I will replace it with something that is praiseworthy. I will replace it with something that is good. So that means there is nothing like twisting the hand of God and saying, I'm going to get that peace by force. No. He gives you a principle, you do the principle, and you get the result, which is the peace. So now I started understanding that now I'm getting worked up for no good reason. That means I should be able to go back and understand what are the principles attached to the kind of exploits and breakthroughs that I want. That we are all here in our different spheres of environments and our different niches and our different needs in this world to break through. You're like, you know what? There are so many people that are doing the same thing that I am doing, but what kind of skill can I get in order for me to run faster than everyone that is running, or make more impact than everyone that is in my league, or stay the course when others are actually giving up? Because that is part of breakthrough. The reason as to why these messages are important to us, that even when we get the strategy minus the clarity, we cannot apply the strategy. So that means we need the clarity to know who we are, whose we are, and what we can actually do in order to materialize the breakthrough that we so much need in this world. Okay? So, how many, so many of us have been frustrated at some point. You're like, you know what, but slow. And let me tell you, mentorship is actually it's a long game. You don't play a short game in mentorship. If you want to, kunyakula, you know kunyakula? If you want to come and say, you know what, I just want to get close to Bahati, grab what she has. Is it grabbable? No. Tell me, is it grabbable? No. It is an impartation. And an impartation takes time. Because it is not just going to work today. It is going to work tomorrow. And guess what? It is going to grow sweeter as you get old. You will create better businesses. You will impact more lives. You will speak better. You're going to smell better. You're going to look better. Your marriage is going to be better. Your children are going to be better. As in, everything you touch with your hands is going to be blessed. But a blessing is not the kind that rains. And you're like, chitwali. And some of you are actually muchibaka. Saying, you know what, let me grab it. Let me tell you, God cannot be mocked. What you saw is what you. So tell me, chotwala wachisimbiedi. Wanji? I know he's a God of miracles. He's a God of breakthroughs. But let me tell you, I want us to go back to the foundations. I want us to go back to the principles, because these principles are going to manifest. They're going to hold you accountable every step of the way. That you'll be like, you know what, but I want to speak like so-and-so. I want to be to speak like so-and-so on a bigger platform. Sometimes God saves us from ourselves. He's like, I introduce her to a bigger platform right now. And then she will squash every life that is on that big platform. So why don't I build her place position by position? Why don't I build her step by step, the capacity to handle? Do you see how you are fighting battles left, right, and center? With your colleagues, with your workers, with your boyfriend, with your husband? You're fighting those small, small battles. There are bigger battles coming. I hate to tell you, there are bigger battles coming. Now, if your muscle is not strengthened enough, you will get to the bigger battles. Have you ever seen someone that is fighting a bigger battle but fighting like a kid? And you're like, where do you punch him? Wait. Oh, you were just supposed to shake off, make an about turn, and walk away, and stand with your head held high. There are certain smokes that we should never smell. But you realize that takes time to build. So I want us to go to the foundation and ask ourselves, what did God promise and what didn't he promise? Are we promising ourselves and putting it on God and expecting God to come through with our promises? Are we putting it in his mouth? And then now we create the expectation. And when the expectation does not come, then we are so annoyed. So annoyed. And guess what? It's the same God that you have to go back to. You know what makes me laugh? It's the same God that you have to go back to. So for those that are taking notes, having realistic expectations minimizes our frustration. It minimizes our frustrations. And that is how, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, God introduced his names to us, okay? Because he wanted to show us that this is what I can do and this is what I can do. So when he says, I am Jehovah Jireh, I'm a provider. When he says, I am Jehovah Nissi, I will lift a banner in place of victory. That means that he has already given you victory, and some of us are going to win. And I feel it so strongly in my heart that some of us are going to win in places where we should have lost. Where everyone expected you to lose, you are going to win in that exact place. And guess what? Sometimes we're going to lose in places where we expected to win because we wanted to win with our own ability. And you'll be like, no, you're not winning. Lest you become proud. Lest you become, I know it all. But the biggest thing is, the moment you know that he raises a banner to show that he reigns and, you know, he's a provider, that means provision, there is as in it's in his nature, okay? So that you expect from him, that you can pray about it. But you realize he still says, I will bless the works of your hands. So that means you have to be able to dig a trench of provision to yourself. Some of us have blocked all the trenches of blessings, and we are saying, God, bless me. And we are calling all the blessings. We are calling the God of Abraham. We are calling, and we have mastered, and we have even crammed some prayers. God looks at us, and he has big laughs. And he's like, the day they realize that they have very unrealistic expectations of me, the same expectations they should have had on themselves, that is the day that they will work, and I will bless the works of their hands. Right? So you realize where frustration is coming. He gave us all those names. You know the names, okay? Some of them I don't even know because they are more than ever. But he has consistently told you that these are my names, and these are my names, and these are my names, okay? And I want us I want to give you another, because this is something that I wanted us to dwell on when it comes to today's talk. I just wanted to give that preamble. But in 1 Chronicles 14:10, it says that, and so David and his troops went to Baal Perazim and defeated the Philistines there. God did it. David explained, he used me to burst through my enemies like a raging flood. So they named that place Baal Perazim, which means the Lord bursts through. You see another nature of God? That some of the things he does not do them in silence. Yeah? That he bursts through certain things. Remember, we are creating personal brands that are transformational. Not personal brands is okwepanka. If you're creating a personal brand as just to show off, you're in a wrong place. We are creating personal brands that will impact people's lives. Whether you are in fashion, whether you are in career development, whether you are in, name it, whatever industry you are in, because everyone can create a personal brand. Actually, everyone has a personal brand, but people are just not creating their brands. So now for us, we are being very intentional about creating those brands. But specifically, when I come to my own life and when I started creating the brand Bahati, when we were at the birthday party, I remember, I think it's my husband who broke the news to you and told you how he's the one that gave me the name Bahati. Now, we were creating the brand Bahati, and that should have been in 2004 or 2003. How many years are those? Sorry? 20 years. So brand Bahati has existed for 20 years. Bahati is on my passport, is on every, but we sat one day and we're like, what is the name that can break through? Okay? What is the name that can be understood? What is the name that can be comprehended? Okay? And we're like, okay, we are creating this brand. But I didn't just get a name and then sat in the radio studio and then all of a sudden things started working out themselves. Let me tell you, I have hung on the God of breakthroughs all my life, and he has broken through everything, and he has helped me penetrate. He has helped me open doors. He has helped me, and where some doors are not opening, he has helped me break through. And that is the same God I am introducing to you today. That we can build our brands all we want. We can use the earthly material. We can use all the information that, and I give it to you. I tell you about wealth creation. I tell you about public speaking. I tell you about how etiquette and looking good. I tell you, I am giving you all the tools, but I am telling you that if you miss one thing that I have not missed any single day of my life, and that is me knowing that God has the ultimate power on where he wants me to go, who he wants me to impact, what he wants me to do, and he's the only God that can help me break even. You think I am the good one around? I am not. There are people that are better than me, but I will tell you, there are people that are better than me, and yet I'm earning more than them. There are people that are better than me, but maybe I have been them. I have been graced to have platforms. I have been graced to have, and that is why, because when God, just look at the mighty waters, you know how water breaks through? You know, you don't look away for it. It's like, if we don't have media, I will give you social media, and then I will give you the wisdom what to post. And if there is no social media, I will actually take you to the places. I will take you to the universities. If the universities are closed, you will go to the primary schools. If the primary schools are closed, you will go to the nursery schools. If the nursery schools are, as in, there is no way, like there is no limitation for a breaking through brand. There is no limitation. You can have a niche that everyone looks at and say, but that niche we don't understand. And the God of breakthrough will show you that he will thunder through that niche. That he will proclaim your name before your name will go further than you have ever gone. And you will be introduced to people and you'll be like, am I worthy to be in this room? Do I deserve to sit with this? Because he says he will pick the lowly and he will make them sit with the officials. Isn't that a breakthrough? As in, on your own, you didn't have connections, you didn't have, it's not like you had, you had any rich father. I told the men meet here, in the men meet yesterday, my father did not even give me a spoon to inherit. A spoon. And then some of us are busy saying, but, you know, my life is like this because my parents, you know, they didn't plan for me. No, no one planned for us. We just appeared. We just announced our arrival. And we were like, you know what? We are a force to reckon with and we have come and we are not going back. Didn't we grow? Aren't we here? No spoon to inherit. But again, the breakthrough comes in when I have to leave my children's children an inheritance. Isn't that a breakthrough? My children's children, that means my children will be satisfied. By the time I leave my children's children, my children are satisfied. That means things don't have to be business as usual. Not business as usual. Something must be different. We're not going to be in hush. You know, we're not going to just accept to be small, mediocres. No, we're not going to do that. And we're not going to see ourselves as such. Like the people who went to spy the land and said, ha, those people have 6 fingers. They have 6. But we look like grasshoppers. No, we're not like grasshoppers. Why? Because we have a God of breakthroughs on our side. I told you this was a bitter one to come to come and say, but I told you I will empty myself and pour into you, and I will not reserve anything. I will not leave anything. And when you talk about breakthroughs are sudden. Like no one programs for them, right? They are sudden. Number 2, a breakthrough does not happen to stay in one place. A breakthrough happens for advancement. And then sometimes, I just want you to look at, because I'm picturing like gushing water. You know that the storms that break through, because sometimes there are walls that have been built. Have you seen storms breaking through? Yes. They are dramatic. You know, dramatic, like there is no formula. There is no storm that breaks through and the water is just cool in a certain way passing through here. And no. It's spilling over, it's taking buildings, it's, you know, it's dramatic. Now, some breakthroughs are going to be dramatic. Like you're not going to have time to prepare for them, and they're not going to come in an organized way. And then you're going to find yourself all of a sudden you are somewhere and you're like, how did I get here? And sometimes some breakthroughs come through the people that fight you to bottle you down, and God gives you the deliberacy and the power to fight through until you find yourself at a place and you're like, if it wasn't for this fight, I would never have fought back. I would never. Have you ever seen someone who is being drowned? Do you see the power with which they are fighting? As in, it's death or life. So I'm not going to be here and be the slay queen. Oh, but my wig is getting out of what? You know, let me first compose myself before I fight. No, I want to breathe. So if you want success as much as you want to breathe, if you want the breakthrough as much as you want to breathe, the composure is going to go away. As in, for so long, some of you have seen me. When I come to this, some people used to tell me that, you know, if you're going to a place, now we want to arrange for you and then invite you in a certain manner that, you know, oh, join your hands and invite Bahati, oh, the woman of God, oh, that. And then they will be surprised because they would find me on the stage. I'll be like, but now, you're killing our criteria. I'm not killing your criteria. No. I have not been humble and dignified all my life, and I'm not about to start now. Everything I have is for fighting. Everything I have. Let me tell you, everything I have, everything. The children I have, the husband I have, everything has been breakthrough, breakthrough, breakthrough. You take it by force. And then you're here, you're telling me, be dignified. First arrange the wig and then come and show up. No, I'm not arranging the wig. It will arrange itself. I am showing up regardless. Breakthrough is sudden. And this year, I want you to believe in the suddenlies. In the suddenlies, that certain things can change, turn around. All of a sudden, your business can turn around and make profits that you never imagined would come, that your life can take a drastic change. Because we have said breakthroughs are dramatic. Have you ever seen drama queens? Hey, they are like drama queens. You don't know where they are coming from and where they are going, but they are going, and they are going with force. And they are taking everything that is standing in their way. Some of you, but you know, my jaja is standing in my way. My auntie said what? My friend. Sometimes you even have pastors who say certain things. They feel they have the authority to tell you can never amount to anything if you don't submit to me. I know I'll be hated for certain things. But the breakthrough that is about to happen in your life is going to be dramatic. Dramatic. That even the people that were standing in your way, ejabayola. Ejabayola. Where your husband will be the one on the first row clapping. You know, putting the red carpet and saying, she's my wife. Yeah, guys, she's my wife. She will, tambuza post. Your husband aja tambuza post. Tambuza post. Ajaji tambuza. Not in a bad way, but proud, super proud that, look, this is my woman. But maybe before that, they're like, I don't want to be seen with her in public. Oh, that one, I have to be careful. You know, stay away. You know, even the same. Sometimes your wives are going to be the ones booking people, booking sessions. They're like, you can book a session through me. My husband, you know, book a speaking engagement through me, because it's going to be dramatic that even people that didn't believe in you, all of a sudden, they will have no option but to clap, but to call you anointed, but to call you exceptional, professional. You know all the names. What do you want to be called? Want you? You don't have names that you want to be called. Household names. Outstanding. World changer. Transformer. Standard. You guys. Sorry, international. International. And there will be people speaking on your behalf. Okay? On your behalf. And the things that are going to happen cannot be attributed to a human being. You know, when a human being does something, human beings do things for us, right? They do things for us. They are good human beings that have done good things for us. But what the breakthrough is going to do in your life, not anyone of any human beings will ever take the glory for doing that. Not your mother, not your pastor, not your auntie, none. Like, they will always also be in awe. Have you seen people who are also surprised? Like, but I've been with her for 20 years. Where are these words coming from? And then you go to a boardroom where you are busy negotiating money, and you're saying, if it's not 30 million for an hour, I'm not coming. And your husband is like, what? You know, these things I'm saying, the reason I'm saying this is because vividly I felt it. And I think I did it last week, and I've been doing it for the past 5 weeks, showing you what has transformed my life to where I am today. It's not just about the reading. It's not about just the research. It's not just about, let me tell you, there are people who can research. I can give you the same topic, and you will research the same topic. And one who researched more will under-deliver, and one who didn't research at all will come and wing it. And they will be anointed. And we'll get goosebumps. Has someone ever said something until you felt like, you know what? The topic does not even touch you. It's not in your docket. You even didn't know that you will watch that video. And you're like, wow, the intensity with which this person is speaking. And you go following them, you go favoriting them, you call them your mentor. Do you know that people have online mentors? But why would you call someone a mentor? It's because you have followed them for some time and they have not dropped the step. They have not dropped the step. They mean their word. They show up. They have never given up. So just imagine if you followed someone and named them your mentor and then they didn't post for the next year. When next their post comes up, you will actually block them or you will unfollow them. Because you'll be like, you know what, I'm following many people, so I should unfollow them because they're unserious. And I usually tell you, when you're building a personal brand, that level of consistency. But you're going with your emotions. Today I feel like it. Today I put on a nice dress. Today, but I will first plait nice hair. No, I will first rent a nice house. I will get a nice phone. Meanwhile, everyone is like, she's unserious. I followed her thinking she's a serious person, but no, she does not keep her promises. Brands that don't keep promises, people walk away from them. Okay? So we said that it is dramatic, it is advancement, it is developmental. Breakthroughs. Very sudden. It's like you've been knocking on the door and no one is opening and you're like, you know what, I'm going to kick this door down. That is what happens sometimes. I am just going to kick this door down. I must get in, whatever comes. I must become that coach. I must become that speaker. I must become that international keynote speaker. I must become that international author. I must become, and you're like, if this door is taking long, because we say the people that are up there, they have like a triage of themselves. And so when a newcomer comes and you're knocking on the door, everyone is like, but for us, we have built our brands for a long time. We are international. And then the hands are there, and then they are eating, what are they called? Seafood. And meanwhile, they are crossing their legs. They are in, there. And you are here. A new person, new kid on the block. You are knocking. And they're like, no, we are not opening the door. Because the people that are up there want to remain up. And guess what? They don't want anyone to cross up. So that means, if the Bible says that from the days of John the Baptist, we take things by the violent. You're like, you know what? I am knocking down this door. How do you knock it down? By being consistent, by showing up every day, by knowing what you have to, by praying to a God that orchestrates breakthroughs. Because in your power, it's possible that you will break the door down and all the spears will be pointed at you. Yeah, because no one wants you to take their territory. They're like, but we have been the one that deals with this merchandise and we are a household name. Yes, you are a household name, but please make room for another household name. We have come and we are not going back. And because if you go at it alone, chances are you will be swallowed up because they will make mockery of you. They will say certain words that are going to anger you. They're going to annoy you. And then you'll be like, but I had a job. Let me go back. And then no nigi, now you go back to your job. But I have a home. Let me go back to my home. No, these things have no turning back, no surrender. You appear and you're like, no, you're like David. Who is this Goliath that is challenging the army of? And you're like, I come to you in the name of? I enter this door with God because he's the God of breakthroughs. Okay, so very, very radical to the extent that not only are other people going to be confused, but you're also going to be confused. You know, when you're confused about your own elevation, you're like, up to now, I have never gotten used to responding to people when they appreciate my work, when I bump into them in streets, in saloons, or in banking halls. Because I'm like, now, what do I say? I appreciate your feedback. I've tried all of them. I have tried to be meek and humble. I have tried to smile when I don't mean it. I have tried until I'm like, but God, I don't think I want to go to people anymore. I want to keep in my office somewhere, do my work, do my exploits from this side. But I do not want to go. somewhere. You changed my life. You gave me back my marriage. Do you know that I gave back because of you? Do you know? And I'm like, now what do I say? Congratulations. Like, seriously. I kid you not. I have never gotten used. But the thing is that those are the exploits and the breakthroughs that also take you by surprise, and you're as confused as other people. Other people are confused because now, like, make way. Now you have to move. For example, you move. Tim gave up a long time ago because whenever we are in a restaurant, this is what happens. People wait for him either to go to the washroom or to go to the counter, and then they run. Bahati, can I take a picture? Now, I want to give you a testimony. Do you know this message that you talked about? And there are like 5 of them around me. So sometimes he comes and he's like, and most of them are ladies. So sometimes he's like, I will not manage. So he goes back to where he's coming from. He is there and he's like, I kept peeping to see whether they have gone. And after they had gone, because I've dragged him into the limelight, so now everywhere they're also showing him. I didn't know you're the one. I saw your video in the morning. Now he also doesn't know how to act about it. So I'm like, we are in the same boat. I used to tell you, I don't know how to respond to people. Now we are confused together. The breakthrough that is going to happen in your life will not only confuse other people. Your family members will be like, she started here jokingly. Like, we didn't even see sense in what she was saying, what she was doing. But these things are also marketable. Like, people are paying her money. For what? Just to go, like, they pay you to do what? To speak. Like, people pay you to speak. People are about to get confused. Your siblings, even the people that gave birth to you, will get confused. You'll be like, oh, man, I failed with that one. I failed. The others, I understand them because they are plumbers, they are lawyers, they are engineers. This one, black sheep. Remember, we said we are the weirdos of the families. We are not boxed in, and nothing can box us in. Eh? We are the breakthrough generation. Okay, so let's go speedily because I want to be able to finish all this, okay? This is, remember, we declared this year as the year of upgrade, okay? So we are upgrading. And then when he promises breakthroughs, remember we said that there's a principle attached to it, okay? So that means that there's a principle attached to breakthroughs. And principles are the path to the promises. Principles are the paths to the promises. Remember, we say that, but these things cannot go away without prayer and? So that means there is a promise of the breakthrough, but there is a pathway for that breakthrough, which is a principle that must be put into place. When I talk about prayer and fasting, I am very unapologetic because I have seen what God has done in my life. I have seen what God has done in my life. Ask about fasting for 12 hours. Right now, do you know that there is a level you get to and that one no longer counts? You feel like it is not sacrifice. Now that is where I am. If it is not 100 hours straight, 72 hours straight. And why? Because you demand for a higher glory. Because you demand for a deeper connection. Because you demand for a bigger breakthrough. And so you are sacrificing, and fasting is sacrificing anything that gratifies us. It is not just the food. Sometimes you can fast scrolling your phone. Because sometimes we have failed to even have time with God or prayer time. When you go to prayer and you're like, let me put on a song. Hey, you go to shorts. And then you start crawling and you're like, why Uganda, Ugandans. And then you find a story and you're like, but this one's marriage, what happened? And then you keep going like 1 hour into your prayer time, you have not prayed a single prayer. And even when you start praying, what is on your mind? I want to finish this prayer. I go and research what happened to that marriage. What happened to the Lugambo is itching. Your mouth is vibrating. You're like, you know what? I want to go and tell so and so. Let me send a text message. And those things, they make them shareable so quickly. So you can just tap one button and share it with your friend. It's like, we'll come back to this later. Tell me I give you more juice about this, more tea. I spill more tea about this. Let me tell you, tea has made people lose. They're not tea Wokunywa, but tea Lugambo has made people miss their breakthroughs. Because your mind is divided. You are mindful about everyone's business but your business. Fako kumudalo agu. As in mind your business, stay in your lane. You can't have a breakthrough in someone else's lane. No, it's their lane. You can only break even in your lane. Okay, so we talked about the peace. We talked about, remember, when we talk about the first statement that we talked about, that boy that was brought to Jesus, the one where he practiced the exorcism, and the disciples were so wise, because some of us don't like learning. The disciples would have said, Jesus has already, cast the demon, so it's okay. But this is what happens. In private, they went to him. These are people who maximize mentorship. They maximize their mentorship. They're like, we are here, we left our nets for fish, we left our, you made us the fisher of men. Now, why? I mean, we could have. And for me, I like the question that they asked because it shows that they believed in themselves that they could cast away that demon. But they were surprised that the demon was not going. So now they're like, but what didn't we do? Why couldn't we? And then I think Jesus in his heart was like, these people, what should I tell them? They want to do in public what I do in public without doing what I do in private. Because his life was about fasting. His life was about prayer. His life was about consecration. Not even praying with all the 12. Jesus would have had the biggest fellowship of his time. Because, wherever he went, they followed him. But even from the 12 disciples, he would run away from them. Get the 3. And even get the 3 and tell them stop there. And then he continues alone. That means he knew that the mandate that is on my life, it is not a conference call. It is not for all the 12. No. If I'm going to sustain them, if I am going to lead them, I need a deeper connection with my Father. I need a deeper revelation. I need to download from the heavens. And by the time I come out, I need to give the orders according to where the day was going to be. Do you know that he used to get the orders about which village to go to because of particular people that were stationed, either the blind or the lame, and he used to get all those in his prayer. For us, we break into the day anyhow we want. The day comes and the morning has come. We bathe, we brush, we go to... And that is why some people can even... You can get into other people's gaps. For example, someone prepared witchcraft for someone, and all of a sudden, it comes and grasps you. You're not consecrated. You get into your day just like any other person. But remember, you want to be different. That is why you are here. You want to stand out. That is what you told me. So if you want to stand out, you do things differently. You want to break through, you do things differently. You hook yourself to the source of the breakthrough. You hook yourself to the source of the exploits, because if you know me, you will do exploits. So like, I am a child of God. It's not enough to be a child of God. Just like Ariel is not enough for Ariel to be my child. He will have to move his journey here on earth. I will not sit exams for him. No. I will not work for him. No. Okay? So, I need us to very quickly go through some of the breakthroughs in the areas where we need breakthroughs in our lives. Very quickly. Okay? And we say that prayer and fasting is the pathway to the promise that we want of the breakthrough, okay? And your hunger for breakthrough must be bigger than your hunger for the immediate gratification. What satisfies you now? What satisfies you now? I would have given them a piece of my mind. Do you really want to give them a piece of your mind? Will you remain with some mind? Okay, so let's go. A breakthrough in line with ability. Ability. Let me tell you, we've been created with so much potential inside of us. So much potential. But we have cocooned that potential, and the world around us has cocooned that potential. We have been told what we can't do and what we can do. By now, all the fears that we have are because people have whispered and the world has spoken about so many things. And now we have gotten to believe that maybe some of those things are not attainable. But as you get into prayer and fasting, I don't know, you're going to set your own pace. We are not going to do a uniform thing, but I want you to set your own pace of prayer and fasting and pray that God will be able to open up to you in the areas of your ability and what you can be able to do. Because it is massive. It is dramatic. It is advancing. It is developing. It is sudden. There are times when you will come to the fullness of your potential and you're like, I didn't know that I could do this. For example, a time comes when you have a whole factory. Yogurt is a brand, it's a household name that everyone that you're even hiring brand ambassadors. You are exporting to different countries. You are going to these world expos and you are a consultant. You're like, how have you made it? What have you done different? Now, that is the ability. But we see it in a place of prayer and in a place of fasting. Been making a lot of noise. You've been needing a lot of things. And now I am putting you down. Let me tell you, even when it comes to performance, the days I perform better in my life are the days when I'm not eating. Yeah? I have clarity of mind. I can brainstorm. I can think about ideas. But the moment all your energy is taken to beating down food in your stomach, your brain is not thinking. It's not thinking because we are not just thinking for ourselves. Remember, you're not just thinking for yourself. You're thinking for millions of people, zillions of people. So that means you have to have a sharper eyesight. You have to have clarity, okay? So in the area of your ability, the moment you don't know your ability, you are going to cocoon yourself. You're going to run away from certain platforms. When we say go and do round tables, you'll be like, but me, I don't know how to do round tables. Show up, mumble with words, fight with words, okay? And you'll be like, you know what? I showed up. And guess what? The more I show up, the better I become. Before you know it, you can speak on a stage alone. Before you know it, you can be hosted on a TV. Before you know it, you can be hosted on a radio. Why? Because God revealed to you that there is more ability than you know. And you accepted it. Because your body was not gratified, full of food and full. Have you seen people who speak after getting satisfied? You'll be like, food is not bad because we grow because of food. But sometimes if you want something better, let me tell you, I have wanted better things all my life. I started fasting when I was in primary. And not just upper primary, but primary 1, primary 2. I would even now, back then, I would even keep food. I would be like, keep my breakfast, keep my lunch, and then keep because it was about kusonda. I don't know whether some of you have gone through that. And I would go to school and I've been given some small money, maybe because back then 200 was a lot of money, 200 shillings. And I would keep that money. And I would be like, you know what? I will go back home. Remember, I'm the firstborn. You go back home and your siblings are looking at you. They are not satisfied. So I would end up giving them my food. And I lived a sacrificial life, but one thing I said, God, I want to be better. And sometimes I didn't know what I was praying. I didn't understand what I was praying for, but I believe every prayer I have ever prayed, God has answered in my life. Every prayer I have ever prayed, God has answered in my life. It's like I want to go far. I don't want to stop where my family has stopped. I don't want to be like I want to be better than that. Do you have a longing in your life? Do you see yourself in certain spaces? Because if you can't perceive it, you're never going to achieve it. And you can only perceive it if God gives you a glimpse of that picture and shows you how great you are. Okay? And not the greatness that is going to inflate pride in you and ego, but the greatness that is going to humble you so that God will lift you in due time and in due season. Let's go to number 2. Okay? Liberty. We are finishing up, okay? You want to be able to break through. There are certain patterns that you've been doing, the procrastination, the things that you've been doing, hovyo. Some of you have hovyo habits. You're going to write them down. Now, as you pray and fast and ask God, I need liberty from these things that are holding me back, from disbelief, from doubt, from procrastination, from thinking other people have it better than I do, okay? From saying, those things are for others and not for me. I want you to be able to look at all those patterns that have been hindering you and then pray that God will give you the liberty, okay? The breakthrough in line of liberty. And it is very possible that he can actually give to you. Number 3, breakthrough in clarity, okay? Breakthrough in clarity. Guys, there is nothing we can do without clarity. We need to have the clarity of mind, the sharpness of mind about what we ought to do, when we ought to do it, who we ought to do it with, even the partnerships, who we ought to do it for, how we are supposed to do it. Let me tell you, all those things, God can spell them down for you. One day, God will tell you, just take a pen and a paper and you will sit, and ideas will start flowing. And they will not be coming from your mind. They will be coming from God. The clarity to break through in your life. Okay? So, and then the last one, opportunity. I want God to open your eyes to see opportunities. To see opportunities. And then to even reverse some of the decisions that you have made that were not orchestrating and in alignment with what you have done. For as long as we can get a breakthrough in some of those areas, your life is never going to be the same, because that's what has happened in my life, okay? A breakthrough in terms of favor, okay? That is another one. A breakthrough in terms of favor, that not everyone will look at you the same. You will be a totally different. You will have a shield. They will look at you through other lenses. They will not just see you, the Naka today, but they will see you, the one that comes in the name of God. Yeah, the Naka today. So guys, my prayer for you is that the shackles that have been holding will be released. My prayer for you is that your eyes will see deeper than you have been seeing before. And the God of the breakthrough, okay? The breakthrough that is dramatic, that is drastic, that is suddenly, that is not arranged. I pray that that confusion, that good confusion will come in your life, and that it will arrange you. And sometime you look back and will be like, you know, one time we were in that room. This room at some point is going to be history. We were in that room with Bahati. But let me tell you, it was like an upper room. That is where we were empowered to go and spread into the world like wildfire. And let me tell you, we are going to spread like wildfire. The world is not even ready for the manifestation of the people and the souls that are in this room. So bless you, love you, and God be with you.